Alright, so thank you again for joining. And this part, we are basically going to be talking about. We are basically going to work on one of the advanced MongoDB operations that you can perform. That is collecting statistics. And in this video, we are basically going to try to get the user's monthly income in general. Okay, so but before we do any of that, I would like us to add or correct one more thing inside from our previous video. So I'm gonna go into the card and the order. Yeah, the card and the order. So where we are getting a user card, you have to find one, and then we find one with the user ID. Find one with the user ID. Don't forget to put this in your curly braces, and then with the with the order, I can get the order on here. So with the get user order, you find one. Find one. So now that we have this, we should be able to work with the rest of them. I think because I was copy and pasting, so I wasn't checking how things were going. So yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next one, which is obviously the advanced MongoDB function that we want to perform. Okay, so we're basically going to do that inside the orders controller. So over here we want to try to get the user's monthly income, right? So how are we going to do that in general? Now, how you're going to do that in general is to basically create a function. Okay, so how is our function going to look like? Okay, so now let's create our function. So we are going to say const what get user or get monthly income, uh, monthly income. Okay, and then it's obviously going to be an asynchronous. It's obviously going to be an asynchronous function, and then I would now open it up, and then what are we going to do? You're going to create a try catch block as usual, and then here we are going to log out the error. Okay, and then over here too, you're going to say rest status 500, and then we're going to set this JSON message, to an error occurred while creating while getting user monthly income. Okay, so now that we have this, let us quickly run through the logic of how we are going to do things here. So what we want to do is basically get the date object, obviously, and then after getting the date object, we want to make sure that we know last month and the previous month. Then we'd compare both last month and the previous month, take them out of the database, and then bring them out into its own group where we can actually use, right? So how do we go about that? Okay, so inside the get monthly income type thing, what we're going to do is, first of all, you need to get the date. So we'll store the date object inside the date variable, like we did for the other analytics we did the other time. I think for the users, right? So yeah, it's for the users, like something similar to that, right? Then where were we? I think we could, order. So now that we have the date, we want to create a new variable. Say I want to take like I want to take the I would say last month, and I would equate that to new date, or I can just take so new date, and then we take this date dot set month, dot set month, and then we're going to open that up and then put in our date again, and then we are going to get the month, and then we're going to close that up and subtract from 1. Okay, then we move on to the next one, saying previous month. We say that a new date is going to be created, and inside we are passing in a new date. Okay, and then we are it's outside of, so for so of that new date that we are getting, I'm going to set month. I'm going to set month to last month dot get month. Okay, -1. Okay, so now that we have the last month, now that we have the date last month and previous month, we can now start with the actual analytics that we will perform. So we're going to say, so we are going to come here and say const monthly income is going to be equal to await order dot aggregate. So as usual, we use the aggregation pipeline. Then what do? We use our first method. So we want to move through the database and match all these ones. What are we matching? We are matching them through their created at. And then how are we doing that? Created at. And how are we doing that? We want to do that with the great. So it needs to be what? It needs to be greater than the previous month, obviously. Previous month. So previous month, obviously. Okay. Then now that we have this, we want to basically we want to be able to project, right? So where the projection is us creating like a sort of a new list, like a new list or something. And then so I'm going to come down here, and then I'll create this projection by saying that project. So project, then how are we doing that? How are we projecting them? We're going to create like a month field, in which that field we have, we are going to take inside that field we're going to take the same month. Okay, and then so we're going to take the month, and then we are going to take the created ads that we had, right? So inside the month we're going to have the created ads that we had, that is created ads, and then we are going to group them with the data that we've been able to get. So over here we can group them, right? So we can create like this, the function group, and then inside we pass in the ID. And what are we doing with the ID? What is going into the ID? What is going into the ID is the list that we get from here, right? So month, okay, then right after it we have the total. So sum. So the total is going to be done with the sum method, and then we are going to pass in the sale. Alright, so yeah, so now that we have the sales, what we want to do is we want to go into Postman real quick, and then alright, so now that we have the sales, we want to go back into Postman and basically create an order, or we'll create 2 orders or 3 in general, and then we'll be able to bring out the statistics for them. And this, based on this aggregation that we'll perform, that is what we are going to display onto our admin dashboard type thing. So that's what we're going to do. So over here, just like the usual, we create a new folder, and then inside that folder we give it a name. And then what name are we going to give it? We are basically going to give it order. Okay, so we have order. But before we do that, as you can see inside our order here, we have not exported and used this function that we created. So what we are going to do is over here we are going to export the function. So monthly income, so yeah, monthly income should be exported right now. Okay, I don't think I typed it right, or did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, so monthly income should be exported. Why is it giving me errors? Monthly income is not defined. I think I created monthly income inside a private scope. So what I'll do about that is I want to come here and select it. I'll select the monthly income, I'll cut it out, so, and then I'll bring it outside here. Wait, what? Okay, I think this form I find difficult. Alright, so cutting it, then how? Okay, yeah, so it actually gets monthly income. Get monthly income. Okay, so get monthly income. So get monthly income. Yeah, sure. So now that we've been able to create this, we'll go into our order route, and then we would add one more thing here. So I would say I want to use, so let's create this. Let's say router dot get, then we pass in the, so we say, so stats, or yeah, we say stats slash income, right? So once we're able to do this, we'll verify the admin, right? And then we would want to call monthly income in general. Okay, so monthly income. So now that we've been able to get it, we should be able to use it by closing this section, and yeah, and this one. Okay, so let's go back into Postman. think, yeah, let's go back into Postman and create. So we need to create an order. Okay, and so for that we can like add a request, and then we'll make that a post request. And inside that, we know we have base URL. So base URL is going to take order. Let me check and make sure that, okay, so for the order, it's orders, so orders, and then inside the order route we have stats, then slash income. So orders and then stats slash income. Okay, so we have this now, and then inside, no, not that yet, we need to create. So just orders, and it's a post request, right? So we can just create. Okay, so we go into the body, and then we have raw and then JSON. So inside here we're going to call the user ID. So user ID, which user are we going to pick as ID? We need to take a user that has a verified admin ID. So I'm gonna so we have test user here. I'm sure by this time the token we would have would be expired, so let me copy this token, and then inside my order for authorization I can put that into the bearer token, and then we fill that in over here. Okay, so now that we have this inside the bearer token, we want to save that, and then we want to come here and create a post, right? So inside this post, inside the user ID, we want to have what exactly? So users here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick out test boy. Okay, I think I can just pick that out from our login that we did here. So let's go to login and then pick that out from here. So copy. So over here, we pass in the user ID, and then we now create this product, and then inside the product we are going to have the product ID here. Okay, then we're going to just write any product ID alright. Then over here we are going to pass in the quantity. So for the quantity we have 42 product and so now that we have that, we're going to create another object. We're going to create another object where we have product ID, and then we are basically going to write or put in anything, and then over here we have another quantity, and then we'd say something like 7 is cool. And then under here we are going to have to come up with the amount. Okay, and then the amount is 200. Okay, so under the amount we are going to come up with the address, and then the address should be Ghana. okay, and then inside the next one we can have what exactly is in the next one. I forgot. So I will go into the order model, and yeah, I think status, but there's no need to add status because yeah, by default it will be pending. Okay, so what we can do is to just close out this comma and then create the order. Okay, so we have this new order being here. We have its ID, we have the user ID and address Ghana, yes, and yeah, obviously the products. Okay, so so let's go into our database and check. So I'm going to refresh this. I mean, I find it weird we are not getting we don't have anything inside the product. Okay, so let's fix that. Let's not use let's just come for actual products here and put them inside the ID. Inside the ID. And check here. So yeah, that was why it wasn't working, because I didn't get it. So obviously I contradicted the names here, and then yeah, I just fixed that here. So regardless of the IDs that we put in here, we should still get what we are looking for, right? So let's create that. Okay, now we have it, and let's create another one, changing the IDs here and changing the quantities a bit, and then yeah, change the quantities a bit, and yeah, and let's say the amount as well. Okay, then we create another one. We can do that one more time over here, and then change the quantities to, let's say 3, let's say 5, 6. Okay, then we say this is $43 or something, and then we create. So right now what we want to do is, I want to, for us to be able to get the monthly income for them, we are going to have to manipulate the dates over here. So over here you can see that we have 01. No, we'll go into the orders. Now you can see that we have 01. Let's leave this one. We have 01. So I'll set that to 12. I'll set that to 12. Set that to 2023. Okay. And over here we can leave it. Okay, so now that we have this, we need to create a new, okay, let's say this is create order and save that. Then we would create a new folder. Called what are we calling that? So we'll call that, or you don't need to create a folder, let's just create a request in here. So add a request, and then inside that request you're going to say that get monthly income. Okay, so inside get monthly income we pass in base URL, So base URL orders, then we are going to say stats slash start slash income. Okay, then so start slash income, we are basically going to now we can verify admin, so we can just send, and then we should get the statistics of, okay, there are no errors, so we should, okay, cannot get a response. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, yeah, so basically the reason why we are not getting any response is because we didn't send a response back to the user. So we'll do that by saying res.status 200 .json, and then yeah, we can say message. The message is equal to income has been retrieved successfully. See, yeah, and then under here we can just pass the monthly income. Yeah, so let's try again. Okay, it seems we are getting an error here. It says res is not defined. Okay, yes. Forgot to put in request and response. Yeah, so now we can start again. Okay, that's weird. Alright, so as you can see, we are still not getting the monthly income that we are expecting. Let's go back to the code and check. Okay, so the previous month. Okay, so I think the problem might be coming from here. I think because you're creating the new dates, that's why. So what you can do is you can pass in last month instead, and okay. Okay, so for the sales, we are not getting the sales from anywhere. So over here, you're supposed to get from it. So you're going to say sales, and then the sales is going to be coming from the summation of the amounts, right? So I'm going to say amount and check through here. I think yeah, that should be it. So I'm going to send my get request. Okay. So yes, we now have these values. Okay, we now have these values. So yeah, I mean, since we came back to the database to come and change this value to 12 and 2023, that's why it was separated from the rest of the other ones that were inside January, right, 2024. So yeah, that is why we can see them here like that. Okay, so basically this is just one advanced MongoDB operation that will perform in our e-commerce application. And the next one we are going to learn, the next one, we should obviously be the final part. We are going to implement a payment system, and we are going to use Stripe in our case. So yeah, please, thank you for staying with me to the end of the video. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, and obviously that would help you not miss the last part of the series. Okay, I appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll meet in the next video. Bye.